Hi, listeners,
This is Cherry
and Plum.
We wanted to let you know that this episode was recorded with the use of N95 or equivalent respirator masks to reduce the spread of COVID, flu, and other airborne viruses that disproportionately impact the disability community.
If you'd like to learn more about virus mitigation and the impacts of COVID, head to bit.ly/COVID careful with capital C's or visit COVID Action Map on Instagram for a list of resources available near you.
Enjoy the episode.
Please be careful of the gap between the train and platform. Blacktown is stopped.
Hey cutie pies, it's Danny here, and today I'm recording on stolen Darug land. I pay my respect to Darug elders, past and present. Acknowledge the ongoing impact of colonization, and also recognize First Nations strength, resistance, and love. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you both feeling today? You guys alright?
Tired and hyperactive. Oh my god, I did. Okay. This is Cherry. Hello. Let's go together.
Okay.
In case you want to say things. Okay, in our place, we have designated sections. In the front of the house, we have Plum's clothing space, where they have all their clothing.
Still
and then,
in progress.
Yes,
on
still
the right side.
work in progress. And then we have my little space, and
on the left side of the house.
This is the right side?
No, when you enter, it's on the left.
Oh, yes.
It's very pink.
Yeah, there's lots of pink, and there's plushies. There's alien plushies because I love aliens and I feel like I'm a little alien.
You got your crafts.
Lots of my ADHD brain, 100 different hobby crafts. Plum has. Do you want to go talk about your PC setup?
On my desk, I have plushies and figurines: Stitch, Sonic, Amy, and I have a little box of treats because I am a sweetie. I love sweets. Cherry got that for me for a present. A lot of the things in the house are pink and green. Bright green kettle and toaster. We have pink cups and pink oven trays. Even our cat litter is pink. A pink toilet stool.
We have cherry blossoms in the house. They're plastic.
I would take all your pain, but I've plenty of my own. This world is not for us, but we've made it our home.
This is Crip Love, a sonic archive of love stories from the disability community. In this episode, you'll meet Plum and Cherry.
This is my girlfriend Plum. Plum has curly hair, very, very dark curly hair, and a big nose that I call a hammerhead shark nose. It's so cute. And very, very dark eyes that I love a lot. Very, very rich, dark brown.
This is my girlfriend, Cherry. Cherry is wearing an oversized pink and green Hello Kitty shirt and a pink and brown cheetah print pajama pants. They're very slay.
I feel like Plum is a little raccoon in a hoodie. You would look at them and kind of be like, oh, like that's not very inviting. Like you're a little bit like of a rascal, a little bit of a creature. But Plum has such a cold exterior, but it's so fake. It's not real. You're like that if the outside of the plum is so hard and you're like, what? But then inside the plum is so juicy and sweet and soft.
Cherry is very outward and loud and bubbly, and I always see them as like as my sunshine because they're just so like bright. Sorry, I was gonna make something like you have a big bum, but I don't know if that's appropriate.
So we met on Tinder. What, like 4 years ago now? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, 4 years ago. I was very selective on Tinder. Like, I'm not the type that would just swipe on everybody. And I really take like everything on the profile to heart. And so when I saw Plum's like profile, I was like, yeah. I was like, yes, this looks like a very interesting person. And I thought that they seemed like so cool.
I thought that they looked really cool. At the time, they were presenting like alternative, like big eyeliner, dyed hair, more of this like intense vibe. And I really didn't have many people who were like that around me, and I really gravitated towards that way of expressing.
I remember mainly like that they seemed fashionable, like stylish. And I also was really like into clothing and stuff. So I thought, oh, that's nice. And it's a different style to mine too. So I thought that that was interesting. And then also that they're Filipino because that's not my ethnicity, but it was my like cultural upbringing. And so like that was something that ticked in my brain as well. When we matched, I think we spoke for a bit. I remember just thinking like, oh, like this person actually seems interested in talking to me. I think I'd gotten quite used to not making valuable connections.
When we started talking, we got along very well in the things we were talking about, just who we are as people and what we find important, and expressing our ideas about queerness and it not being the standard idea of queerness, like I think being kind of like gender fucky and the way we view and act in communities. And then I saw that they had phasmophobia in their bio.
Phasmophobia is a video game where you are paranormal investigators and you go to locations and you try to figure out what the ghost is. It's kind of like Cluedo. Like it has this like you find the different evidence and elements to figure out like who is it basically. It's like that. It's like a who is it kind of thing. And yeah, I was really obsessed with phasmophobia at the time. Like obsessed, 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 obsessed.
At the time, I was someone that wasn't really interested in horror because it is a horror game. And I placed a judgment that I wasn't sure if I would really get along with Cherry because they liked horror intensely and they suggested we play Phasmophobia. And that's when I started to feel nervous because it was something that I felt I wouldn't be interested in. But I was open to trying because I felt like I really liked Cherry. I really was interested in Cherry and I really resonated with the ideas they shared. So I downloaded the game and we started playing.
It has an in-game talking feature. So the first time we actually verbally spoke was inside of the game.
But I had to ask my friend to join because I felt so anxious about talking to someone new.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Plum brought somebody, and I was like nervous. But then it was funny because me and Plum's friend kind of just ended up talking like the whole time at the start, and Plum was just like listening, I guess.
I mostly just observed how Cherry was towards my friend at the time, and I thought Cherry was really funny and that their personality was like really chatty and bubbly, and that is something that I liked about them. And through that, I got to know them from a sense of comfortability that I felt like gave me the opportunity to feel comfortable in talking to them.
And then the friend like left, and so it was just me and Plum. And I think we ended up spending like 18 hours on a Discord call, just doing a lot of different things. Yeah, we didn't sleep. Well, first we played Phasmophobia, but then we ended up just talking a lot in it. I don't even know what we were talking about. Lots of different things. And Plum was so blunt. And Plum was asking like the most like left field questions to me and like basically like interviewing me a bit. Like, oh, what's your opinion on this? And like, what do you think about this? It's very scattered. But somewhere along the way, I had my camera on and then I was just playing the Pitbull songs that I liked and lip syncing. Like I like doing Pitbull lip syncing.
They did it because I expressed how I didn't like Pitbull because my brother used to listen to Pitbull a lot and it gave me like this weird man vibe that is like, I don't know, like player and stuff. And so Cherry started to do a performance for me, which was very funny. And although I do hate Pitbull, I think I love it through Cherry's love for Pitbull when they were growing up.
Yeah, I don't even know when we decided to get off. I think we must have been like tired. We probably went to sleep. But that was like literally within like 48 hours of having met each other. So, yeah.
By the moment that I started talking to Cherry, I became very obsessed with them and tell me everything and I want to know more about you. And after that call, I felt like we were just silly little like teenagers, like being naughty, like staying up and like being cheeky. Yeah.
And then the first time we met in real life, I guess is the like next progression. We went like to the city and it was with all of Plum's friends and it was just me and like I like had to bring a mobility aid and stuff to the date outing thing, and I was very like nervous about that. I'd mentioned on my profile and stuff about being like chronically ill and like autistic and stuff, but we hadn't like talked about it like front on, and I hadn't spent heaps of time like making new friends since my health declining, like my physical health declining and needing to like do things differently. And so that was like one of the first times that I had like met up with somebody with that all being like new, and I was so afraid of judgment.
When we met up, when I first saw them, they were taller than I expected, but only because they were wearing platforms. And they were in a wheelchair when they came to me, which was not exactly surprising because I already knew that they used a wheelchair, but I was already conscious of the fact that they felt anxious about being disabled, and so I just felt like I wanted to make sure that they felt like it was okay, that they needed breaks, and that they, yeah, I felt very like, I just want to focus on you. I want to care about you and what you're feeling and make sure you're okay, and like be close and stuff and be cute.
I was just so like stubborn with myself about having like health conditions, about having disability, and not wanting it to get in the way, but then not accommodating properly for it. So then it's like I wasn't able to be like present with this new person that I was trying to have a good connection with, because I was just thinking about, oh, like even just things like, am I not gonna look as good if I use a mobility aid today and stuff, which is really sad and not fair to myself at all. But yeah, like I just really wanted to seem like I was fun and chill.
I think we just did mostly a lot of talking and walking around. We did a lot of joking around. I don't think we really got to know each other much on that date, because I just felt so worried about them, because I could tell that they were really tired. And I think after that, I did end up coming over to their place, and we just played Switch games together, and it was nice to be close and hang out one-on-one.
Yeah, I just remember, unfortunately, like having so much like doubt and having so much anxiety about letting somebody into my life, when I kind of felt like I was very complicated in that way. Yes, I don't feel like that now, but it was a big theme before. When we started dating, I was so romantic, and it was very shocking to me.
We were always chatting on Instagram, or playing Phasmo, on Discord calls, just like shitting around and like maybe like sharing music.
I made a whole playlist of songs and then I accompanied it with a guide. So I wrote like all of the songs, and then I wrote like explanations of why I liked them and why I chose them. Like for every single one, there is like at least 30 songs.
I think one of the things that really connected me to Cherry was sharing music and sharing like our feelings about that. Cherry can be quite poetic, which I really find like romantic.
I was doing like so many things. We were going to cafes, we were going on sushi dates, bubble tea dates, like everything. And like playing games together all the time. It was so like it felt like crazy. Like I felt like I was having so much fun. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is what it can be like to be in a relationship. Like I don't know, it felt like I was in a relationship for the first time ever. Like I'd never been in such a dynamic where I really, 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 really felt like, oh, nothing like nothing matters except for this moment. So it was like, yeah, magical to be with somebody that I liked so much and that I just felt like I'm like so absorbed with this person. Yeah.
I worked overnight at McDonald's.
And we used to like call on like a video call and stuff.
Sometimes I would start the call on my break and we'll talk, and then I would have to get back to work.
And I would just be like watching Plum take orders, and then we would like gossip about the orders sometimes, or like gossip about like just like kind of what's happening a bit.
I found comfort in their presence. Just being in proximity felt nice to me.
Yeah, it's like a cute time that we had doing that. And it's a bit unusual to like kind of like have your partner on the phone on a video call with you while you work. Like it's a bit different, especially at McDonald's, like of all places. I remember at first when they were video calling me, I was like, are you allowed to do this? And they were like, I don't know. Like, it's fine, I'm sure. Yeah, just like a testament to how much, like, when we weren't living together and stuff, like, that we wanted to, like, always be talking to each other.
Actually, one cute thing I remember, Cherry would come and I would make a soy chai latte for them every morning, like after I finished work. And I found that really cute. And like, oh, if like I messed it up like this time, then I'll change it like the next day. Like, I don't know, I found it very like acts of service. Like I'm doing something for like someone I love. And yeah, I found that really cute. Like every morning I get to see them and they're sleepy, and I don't know, I just find those things like very sweet.
Being with Plum was like my first queer relationship as well. And I didn't ever know how romantic I was because I really well and truly like was not attracted to men. So when I had dated men before, it felt super contractual and super like I used to be obsessed with marriage. I used to be obsessed with the relationship escalator because I just was so obsessed with this idea of like that even maybe I needed to be like a housewife, like fully like even being somebody that was like a bit weird and non-traditional, I still like held a lot of those values in myself. Like for everybody else, you're fine to do everything. And I'm like, I'm a strong ally, you know? Like I'm like, oh yes, everybody do what you want to do, but for me, I gotta be hetero and I gotta be a housewife. And they're totally like not what I wanted to do at all. Like so like the opposite of me. And so, like, I still, yeah, I was kind of like getting out of that when I met Plum.
I've been identifying as queer for a very long time compared to Cherry, and kind of guiding them through feeling okay being queer, like expressing themselves and exploring that new world.
A big thing for me was that I felt for the first time like I don't care if we don't stay together. Like I don't care if we are not together forever kind of thing. Like I'm happy with the time that I get to spend with you. I realized like this is what it is to actually really like somebody and to be in a relationship with somebody where you're actually, I don't know, like you love things about them and you're interested in them. Whereas before, I just was interested in the relationship. Like I don't really like care about the person. I just care about the relationship. I thought that's just how it is, you know? But getting in this relationship with Plum, I realized very quickly, like, I don't know, like how good queer joy is.
I would say I've helped Cherry in becoming more comfortable and exploring their queer identity, and us exploring our queer identity together, and me exploring my disabled identity with help from Cherry. Cherry brought up the fact to me that did I ever consider that I could be autistic, and then I ended up thinking I should like look into that, and then I realized like I probably am autistic. And I think actually I started thinking that I was autistic maybe in high school, but I brushed off the thought. And then when I met Cherry and I saw that they were autistic and ADHD, I saw what that meant for them. And then I saw what that could possibly mean for me. So learning and discovering that through meeting Cherry like opened my world, really understanding that as part of myself and looking at things in my struggles in my life and looking at it from a disabilities perspective really gave me some sense of like understanding and calm.
I think one of the big things was like with my wheelchair is that I really hated anybody like pushing me in my wheelchair, but sometimes I needed it, like I wasn't able to do it myself. And so I think one of the big things with us was actually when I started letting Plum push my wheelchair when I needed it. And at first I was like a very grumpy little old lady vibe, like, oh, don't push it that way and you're going too quickly and oh, the bumps. And it was like that. Like I'm like, you gotta do it this way. Like I don't like it. Plum really wanted to help me, and I just was so like stubborn about it.
And why do you think that you were so hesitant to let Plum take that on?
I think there's a few reasons. I think like firstly that like strong feeling of like independence and autonomy that I have, and I think growing up a disabled person, I don't know if this is a segue, but like I grew up with the autism diagnosis and I didn't have a lot of autonomy growing up. And so I feel like I just always am so obsessed with independence and autonomy. But at the same time, I am somebody who needs a little bit of not codependence, but like interdependence, like being able to depend on other people to assist and help me with things. But I'm just so stubborn because I'm afraid of that not being able to have my autonomy and not being able to have my independence. I think just the way that I grew up, not having autonomy and everything being about, oh, well, you're autistic, so you don't know what you're saying and you don't know what you're doing, was a very big thing when I was growing up. I think it's really good and I love it that we talk a lot about late diagnosis and how that impacts people. But I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that a lot of people who are diagnosed early, they are not getting the right supports. And a lot of the times it's a weapon. It's a weapon in school, it's a weapon at home to kind of be like, you are inadequate and we need to put up all these barriers around you and you're not allowed to do anything that you want to do because actually you don't know what you want. And so, yeah, that's like a big theme. And I think that I really held that in the start of my relationship, especially, and just didn't feel trust. How are we?
You get comfortable and then I'll adjust.
Okay.
If you want to lie down, I can move the microphone to be level with you. So let
Okay.
me know how you're feeling right now.
Right now, I'm comfortable.
You're
like
comfy?
this.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's keep going then. So, we're talking about how you are becoming more comfortable with Plum and letting them like take on a bit more in terms of like your access needs. What was kind of the next stage, would you say, of the relationship?
Plum ended up moving in with me. And it was something that I really didn't want. I really want to live alone. That's like a big thing for me. But it felt, especially at the time, like that I didn't really have a choice. Like with like the rent, and just my other option was having a like paid care situation, and I really didn't want to have to rely on that. And Plum also really wanted to leave home, and so I felt like it was mutually beneficial, which is very non-standard, I think, when people decide to live together. It's usually like, it definitely finances and things like that, they impact. But I think that it was a very like logical decision and like, oh, this is the most beneficial for everybody. And so it can work out.
At the time, I really was excited to move in, but I also felt very guilty because I knew Cherry didn't want to be living with other people and actually wanted to live alone and be very independent. I felt like it was very hard for me to see that they were willing to invite me to come live here because it was something positive, but I was worried about, were they putting themselves out too much, and like I didn't want to put them in that position.
I feel like that point of time is so like chaotic in my brain. I was like so stressed at that time. And also there was like a lot of like NRE, like new relationship energy. And then like you live together a bit quickly after dating, U-hauling if you will. And I don't know, it's a lot.
I was basically kind of living here already. So when I moved in officially, it kind of felt like a big thing, but also felt like, oh, this is how I've already kind of been living. But it's just like official. And it felt like really exciting to me to live with my partner and to interact in those daily activities in the home life. I found it really sweet, but I realized like that I do benefit from having separate spaces, scheduled time together. That really is a positive thing for me, and I think that really like is something that I strive for, to have scheduled moments with the person that you love. A lot of living together can get in the way of actually being present with your partner and spending time with them. I think there's a lot of stress in maintaining a house, especially when you're disabled.
We've been focusing a lot on curating our own spaces in the house. And like right now, we don't have the ability to have two bedrooms. But like when we do move, we will have entirely our own rooms, like with our own beds and everything. And so I feel a lot more comfortable these days with living together because I feel like Plum has really shown that they respect my desires for autonomy, and they respect my desires for like wanting to have my own things and having things set up in a particular way and stuff. And so I feel like I've been able to like take a breath out. Like I feel like a lot of it was like holding my breath and just being like, oh, I have to deal with this, and this is just how it is, and this is the best way it has to be, so I just have to deal with it, right? But that was a like an era, I guess you could say. Like I think I was very stubborn before of kind of not wanting to integrate and like feeling like I either have to have a lot of independence from you while you live with me, or I have to completely integrate, like super black and white. And so now it's about like having like a middle where we can have like our own spaces in the house and have our own like comfortability and making that work for us the best that we can. So, yeah. Okay, what are we excited about? Um, I'm really excited about this new part of our relationship that we're in. That feels like we're really like just being like so intentional and like feeling like really, really truly feeling like no matter what it is that we need to talk about, that we can talk about it, and that things don't have to be stagnant and we can change plans. And like I don't know, it just feels like really good, and like we're at a point where we both really know ourselves well. And so now we both have like a strong sense of autonomy that we've built in the relationship, and it almost feels like we've been together for a long time, but our relationship is starting now. I was always afraid being in a long-term relationship that things would end up feeling like, people talk about like the feeling stale, and like feeling like, where do you go from here? And like, oh, like what happens next? Especially because we don't feel like we want to follow a typical structure. It felt scary. Like, is this sustainable? But in that, it feels like we really understand our dynamic now. And so it kind of feels like the sky's the limit.
What I'm excited about the future of our relationship is what we're striving for, what we're working on, and like exploring new things. And it is like a new relationship. Like it's like we understand each other, but we're exploring each other again through this new lens, and what the future could look like for us. It's very exciting.
And we really want to go to the Philippines and meet some of Plum's family, because Plum has like queer family as well. And we have plans to like strengthen like our Tagalog and stuff, so that when we go, like there's like not barriers. Like not everybody speaks English there in Plum's family. And so like that feels like a reconnection, and it strengthens our own connection to the culture and everything as well, like through doing that together.
I've been really wanting to go back because I really resonate with being Filipino, and I think that's one of the things I connected with Cherry about, that they knew and grew up around Filipino things, and like sharing it with someone else who also enjoys it, and connecting in that way. Yeah, I think it's really special to me, and I want to share that with Cherry as well.
Before being with Plum, I never wanted to have kids, and I never saw myself having kids. Being with Plum, I changed my mind. It initially started with me like spending time with Plum's nieces, and also thinking about my own little siblings, and just thinking about like how I interact with them.
I was already someone that loved kids and loved the idea of having kids around me. And so when I got into this relationship knowing that Cherry didn't want kids at all, to then changing their mindset and actually being open to having kids, and seeing how they interacted with my nieces and how they interact with their siblings. When I saw that open up in them, I thought it was really like beautiful, like seeing that nurturing and caring side to them.
Also, because of being autistic, I always felt like it wasn't a good pathway for me. Like, if I can't regulate myself sometimes, how am I going to regulate a child? And I realized that at the end of the day, you can make mistakes and you can fuck up. But what really matters at the end of the day is how you show up after you've done that, how you take accountability for that, and then how you move forward, avoiding that, with that, having that in your mind, like learning what it is that you need to do in yourself and that you need to do for the other person to respect them better, to respect their boundaries better, to coexist better with them. Plum really taught me that even if I mess up and make mistakes, like the way that I show up matters the most. And that like I am capable of change and that I'm not just stuck in the way that I am because that's how things are. And anyway, learning all of that and just seeing the type of person that I am, being so close with somebody that really sees me and gets me and makes space for me, changed how I felt about children in general. And I moved from being somebody that was like, there's no way I could have kids. How could I have kids? Like the person that I am, the way that I am, the story that I've lived. How could I possibly be a good parent? To being like, probably not this year, probably not next year, but for sure, I believe that I can be a good parent and I trust myself. And I also trust Plum, like in the person that they are, that I feel like we could make something wonderful in the form of a child.
I thought it was really exciting that they felt like we can have kids, and I felt like, oh, let's do this. Like, let's do this together. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I'm so excited to meet your baby one day.
Oh, with adopting and stuff, I feel like it's a difficult road ahead because there's a lot of considerations and there's still a lot of like prejudice. Like the Philippines actually still doesn't allow adoption to queer couples. And so that's like, I don't know, just something that we've had to like realize as well. But it's like even if there are barriers, I feel like we really want to do it. Like we don't know when, but we know for sure that we want to do it. I think that Plum runs on a different OS than me, different operating system. And I love how that opens me up to new ways of thinking. The way that Plum like holds things and processes things is so different. And I feel like I really enjoy that. And I feel like it's constantly, without even needing to be like, I'm constantly challenged. I'm constantly challenged to like inspect myself and inspect the way that I'm treating others and think about like, is the way that I'm doing things like aligned with me, and seeing that in Plum. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm opened up to a new but familiar world.
I think we express ourselves very differently, not only in like verbal, but like the things that we like. But I love that we're so different, and I love that we come as a combination of two different things. And Cherry likes to say that we are like different art styles, and I think that's really cute.
Plum is very thoughtful, thinks a lot about things, and they are very unusual, Plum is very like accommodating. Plum is somebody who really just wants to do like the best that they can for the people around them. Yeah, a very considerate person.
I love that Cherry's very. I like to use this word, it's like rambunctious, but I don't actually know what it means. But it's very like, very, um, very lots of movement and loud and funny and just like how I said, like the sunshine. That's one of the things that I love about them. I love that they're funny. I love that they're very opinionated. They're like very intellectual and they know so much about things. And I love the little things that they do, like the way that they do things is very particular and very interesting.
I don't know, because I feel like the answers that I'm giving, they're fine, but at the end of the day, it's like I can't encompass it properly. It's like, it's what do I like about them? Like everything that I've experienced with them up until now, the person that they were when I met them, the person that they've been in between that time, the person that they are now. I just feel like I'm always like, yeah, like I get it. And I want to be around that. And I want to be around you. And I want to be around what you're about, like whatever that is. Because I think the things that I like today, they might evolve to be different in a couple of years. But I can still see, like, however that changes, like, I can see myself still wanting to be around that. And I think the awesome thing about us too is that in a couple of years, if it changes, right, like maybe I don't feel like we are aligned anymore, that I feel so comfortable to be honest about that and to be real and still love and appreciate everything that we've had together. Like we're building things together, but it's not with this idea of like we must now be together forever and like I like you because of this, so now you always have to be that way. Like maybe like there are things that I could say, like different points that they're more funny, I get their humor more, but it's like I still just, the way that we're evolving and that the way things are changing, I just feel like I'm always like I still want to be on this ride. Like, and I can see myself wanting to be on this ride, even if the things that I like today that you do are not the same as in 2 years. I can still see myself wanting to be on the ride.
We are two cities under construction constantly, and I'm not who I used to be, but in the end it's still you and me.
Crip Love is supported by the New South Wales Government through Create New South Wales. The gorgeous artwork is by Emma Pham, and dreamy music is by Brianna Jones and Paul McAdam. Bri and Paul are in one of my favourite bands, Library Siesta. You can find a link to their Bandcamp in our show notes. You can find open captions for each episode on criplove.net. I'm Danny Stewart. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for listening.